What is truth? Really? In a world where lies come with studio lighting and headlines are handpicked not to inform you but to instruct you how to think. Where peace is the global slogan but bombs keep falling. Where wars are fought in the name of justice and censorship is rebranded as responsible journalism. I am Rahul. I spent more than a decade in Indian newsrooms. I saw it up close. How narratives are manufactured, how silence is bought, and how fake outrage gets prime time while real issues don't even get a scroll. Somewhere along the way, the newsroom stopped being a place of questions and became a stage for shouting matches, with facts left gasping somewhere in the corner.
Calm down. Both of you calm down.
He's constantly he's
Okay, that's why I've shifted.
Did I say anything else?
Listen.
Why is he so dirty? He's constantly commenting on.
So I left, and now from Rome, the land of power, politics, and of course, pasta, I began a new conversation, a space where we decode the world, not with hashtags and hot takes, but with facts, with context, with calm. I don't take sides, I take a stand for what's right, even when it's inconvenient, even if it upsets the algorithm. This channel is rooted in the idea of peace, the Indian idea of peace, not the kind that avoids conflict, but the kind that confronts it with the truth. Buddha didn't trend, but his ideas still alive. Gandhi was mocked, but his silence shook empires. So no, peace is not passive. It's not soft. It's radical. And it's resilient. Here, we will break down global affairs, east or west, left or right. No one gets a free pass. Because journalism is not customer service. We will inform, we will provoke thought, we will not scream, we will not sell fear. Because truth doesn't need noise, it needs a voice. This is that voice. This is Peace and Power with Rahul Goyal. Peace, a word that echoed across the globe in 1945 as the world emerged from the shadows of the Second World War. Leaders vowed never again, yet as history unfolded, it seemed never again was merely a pause between once more. Imagine for a moment a world where that promise held true: no Cold War, no regional skirmishes, no terrorism, no territorial disputes. A world where nations channeled their energies into development, not destruction. According to research, the global economy could have been significantly larger today had post Second World War conflicts been avoided. The Cold War alone diverted trillions into arms races and proxy wars, funds that could have fueled education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Developing nations, instead of becoming chess pieces in superpower games, might have charted independent paths to prosperity. Africa, Asia, Latin America, regions rich in resources and potential, could have seen accelerated growth without the shackles of external interference. Terrorism, a scourge of our times, has not only claimed lives but also imposed hefty economic burdens. The global economic impact of terrorism peaked at more than 1000 billion USD in 2014. Funds that could have been invested in building societies rather than rebuilding them. It's ironic, isn't it? The very nations that championed peace post 1945 became entangled in conflict shortly thereafter. The rhetoric of peace was loud, but the drums of the war were louder. Today, as we stand on the precipice of potential global escalation, one can't help but wonder: have we learned from the history, or are we simply rehearsing for the next disaster? Let's rewind and look at the subcontinent's most chronic addiction: India versus Pakistan. Four wars since 1947, countless skirmishes, endless hostility. But let's play the what if game. What if India and Pakistan had chosen peace over posturing? In 1970, Pakistan's economy was stronger than India's. Its per capita income was nearly 1.5 times higher than India's. Pakistan was ahead on key development indicators. But today, India's per capita income is now 1.5 times higher than Pakistan's. Tables have turned, but the region has paid a heavy price. India is now the fifth largest economy, set to become third by 2028. Sounds great on paper, but the reality? India ranks 143 in per capita income, Pakistan 161. Bangladesh, for reference, isn't too far behind at 170. And let's not forget, more than 400 million people across these three nations still live in multidimensional poverty. That's one every four South Asians. Now imagine if these countries had invested in people instead of purchasing more weapons, prioritized healthcare over hate, and diplomacy over dogfights. Would we still be begging foreign investors for dollars and yuan? Instead, here we are, still playing the same old game, just with shinier missiles. Take the recent post Pahalgam tensions, a terror attack killed civilians, retaliation followed. Missiles flew, drones were shot down, war hashtags trended. Both countries' media began their usual chest thumping theatrics, breaking news every 5 minutes, often breaking facts in the process. And the people? Well, they treated it like an India Pakistan cricket match, only this time with real blood. War became primetime entertainment, calls for peace were booed like a slow batsman in a T20, and when a ceasefire was announced after US mediation, many were visibly upset. The disappointment was no less than when rain interrupts a high stake cricket match and the umpire calls it off. That's it, they said. We were just getting to the climax. It wasn't just war fatigue that was missing, it was empathy. Prime Minister Modi's approval rating soared, Pakistan's generals gained political mileage, both sides had their photo ops and headlines. The military industrial complex rejoiced. And then there was America playing referee yet again, appearing as the global peacekeeper while selling billions in defense equipments. For example, the 23 billion USD UAE defense deal, which included F-35s and MQ-9 drones. One has to ask, if the US is genuinely committed to peace, why does it run a multi-trillion dollars arm export industry? Because let's face it, a peaceful world doesn't pay, but fear, conflict, rivalry, that's a bestseller. So before you wave the flag and chant for blood, ask yourself, who is actually winning these wars? Because, spoiler alert, it's not you, it's never you.